The moon hung low over the dry plains of Wyoming, its pale light spilling like milk over the endless rows of hay bales and the crooked silhouette of the old barn. Cole Maddox, a weather-beaten cowboy with dust in his boots and secrets in his eyes, was making his final rounds of the night. His mare, Willow, snorted at the wind, ears twitching as if she sensed something her rider didn't yet know. Cole dismounted and pushed his hat lower over his brow. He'd worked the McAllister ranch for only 6 months, but he knew every creak of its gates, every loose board on its fences. That's why the sound startled him, sharp, muffled, unmistakable. A scream. High and frantic, then cut off as if smothered. He froze. His first thought was coyotes getting into the henhouse, but no coyote ever screamed like that. He spun toward the barn. The wooden doors were chained from the outside, a strange sight at this hour. No one chained the barn at night, animals needed air. Another cry, weaker this time. Please, someone. Cole's pulse jumped. Without a second thought he bolted across the yard. His boots pounded the dirt, echoing against the silence. Willow whinnied behind him but he didn't look back. He slammed against the door. The iron chain rattled. Locked. He pressed his ear to the wood. Hello. Who's in there? A sob, choked and desperate. Help me. Rage flared hot in his chest. Whoever was inside was terrified. And someone had made sure she couldn't leave. Cole backed up 3 paces, then hurled his shoulder against the door. It shuddered but held. Again. Splinters bit into his arm. He kicked at the bottom boards until they cracked. Finally the old padlock snapped loose, and the chain clattered to the dirt. He ripped the door open. Inside the barn, the smell of hay mixed with sweat and fear. Lantern light swung from a rafter, casting frantic shadows. In the far stall, a young woman crouched with her wrists bound, eyes wide as a deer's. She flinched from the sudden light. "You're all right," Cole said, his voice low but firm. "You're safe now." Her lips trembled. He locked me." "Not anymore." He cut the rope from her wrists with his pocketknife, then offered his hand. "Come on. You're free now." She stared at his hand as if it were a miracle. Then, slowly, she took it. The moment their palms touched, Cole knew his night, and maybe his life, had just changed forever. The wind shifted sometime after midnight, carrying the smell of storm clouds across the prairie. Cole guided the trembling young woman, her name, he learned, was Eliza, toward the ranch house. She clutched his sleeve as if letting go might send her back into the barn. Inside, the dim kitchen light painted both of them in a warm glow. Cole poured her a glass of water. She drank it like a person who'd been lost in the desert. Only then did she start to talk, haltingly, each word like a splinter being pulled. "He said I had to work off my father's debt," she whispered. "He took my papers, locked me in the barn when I fought back. No one would listen." Cole's jaw clenched. He knew the she meant, McAllister's foreman, Doyle Carrick, a man with a smile too white for his own good. Cole had noticed Doyle's cruelty before but hadn't realized how deep it ran. "Not anymore," Cole said. "You're under my protection now." Eliza's eyes brimmed. "You'll lose your job. Some things are worth more than wages." They both flinched at a sharp knock on the door. Cole's hand went to the revolver at his hip. Through the window, he saw 2 shadows on horseback. Doyle's men. He blew out the lamp and gestured for Eliza to stay quiet. The knock turned to a pound. "Open up, Maddox," a voice barked. "Boss wants the girl back." Cole stepped into the doorway, gun at his side. "Boss'll have to come himself." A tense silence. Then hoofbeats retreating, but only a little. Cole knew they'd circle back before dawn. He turned to Eliza. "We've got to get you off this land." Her fear flickered into resolve. "I'm not running anymore." He studied her for a long moment. In the lantern glow she looked younger than her ordeal, but there was steel under the surface. Then we'll stand our ground. They slipped out through the back, leading Willow and a spare gelding. The prairie stretched ahead, silver with moonlight. Far off, coyotes yipped. Where are we going? Eliza asked. There's a marshal in Dry Creek, 20 miles east. We tell him what happened, Doyle can't touch you. She swung into the saddle with surprising ease. Then let's ride. Dawn was only a pale ribbon on the horizon when the riders came after them. Cole heard hoofbeats thundering behind and spurred Willow faster. Dust rose in choking clouds. Eliza's hair streamed back, but she kept pace. Gunfire cracked. A bullet whined past Cole's ear. He wheeled Willow around and fired a warning shot into the air. Go, he shouted at Eliza. Don't look back. But she didn't go. She turned her gelding sharply, using a fallen log as cover, eyes blazing. I'm not leaving you. Cole cursed under his breath but felt a strange pride. He aimed carefully and shot the lead rider's hat clean off. The posse reined in, startled. Cole raised his voice. This is over, Carrick. The marshal hear everything. Doyle's voice drifted over the wind, slick as oil. Ain't no marshal can undo a contract, Maddox. Hand her over and walk away. Eliza shouted back, I'm not property. The words cracked the morning like thunder. Even Doyle's men hesitated. Cole guided Willow forward until he was between Eliza and the riders. You heard her, he said. She's free now. For a long heartbeat no one moved. Then Doyle spat in the dust. We'll see what the law says. He yanked his reins, turned his horse, and the posse retreated into the rising sun. Cole lowered his gun. His hands shook a little, but his voice stayed calm. You all right? Eliza slid down from the saddle, tears cutting clean tracks through the dirt on her cheeks. I am now. He reached out, and she took his hand without hesitation. Together they stood in the new daylight, not yet safe but no longer in the shadows.